Views a little bit ago were able to get to that monthly expected move. And when this happened, we talked about potential 2 hour pullbacks for the SPY to get to its monthly expected move. The thing in this area is this means that making some trades to the upside, getting bullish when we are at the upward expected move is a risky business because there is a lot more risk than there is said reward. So we're going to go through a lot of things in this video, but one thing can be sure, this FOMO that's going on here, and those FOMO traders are most likely about to get rug pulled. So let's get into a few things we talked about just a little bit ago, right? Especially when the Qs did hit that monthly expected move. We mentioned what? Sometimes on the 2 hour chart, the Qs, and this is all happening, this is why I want to show it to you guys so you can see what I'm talking about just a few weeks ago. Sometimes when you get to that monthly expected move, you'll get some kind of pullback and the Qs will be able to push higher and even create a reversal signal outside of those monthly expected moves for some kind of trap in order for the SPY to catch up. Notice that pullback, and the SPY was screaming higher. Notice that the SPY is screaming higher at a higher velocity than the Qs during this move. That is so it can get to this point. It acts like a magnet, and that would be that 748.72. We have tagged that level. And while tagging that level, we have done a lot of things that we're going to consider when we get to daily expected moves in a moment. That's right on this channel. If you would like to subscribe, we give out free daily expected moves for the SPY, Qs, and IWM. We also give weekly and monthly expected moves for the SPY and the Q so you can gain an edge. And we talk about how to trade or use them as profit targets. We really talk about what they mean. So if you consider subscribing, you can get a lot of good data-backed lines here, a lot of data-backed support and resistances. And that's exactly where you're at right now. You are at a form of resistance. But before we're able to talk about what's going on in the SPY and talk about some potential signals, let's talk about some things that are flashing red right now that the market has overall ignored. One, I would say that the PCC being at extremely low levels for a consistent amount of time, about 1 week remaining around this 0.7 to 0.6 area, is something to say that the contrarian would have an argument here to say people are getting overly bullish still at a potential high. The other thing that I would say is the 10-year yield. We never saw the actual confirmation for the 10-year yield to fall down here with potential divergences. We actually saw that whip back around, which is something that we were talking about, the 10-year yield being in an interesting spot. Is it going to plummet down? Is that going to be some kind of narrative, or is it going to fail that signal? As of right now, has failed the signal, but notice that the market has not reacted to any of this. The market reacted to this, so now the market's not reacting to this. This is very interesting, and I hope that you are staying far away from FOMO, because the next thing I'm going to show you is the dollar. Remember that the dollar, we have this fire sign on because we had those reversal signals right here. We bought some more time to create some kind of little higher low in this area, but we circled it because it was in a recent thumbnail. We said this is going to be the thing to watch, and it is highly probable to go to the upside as we are at that trend line. That trend line is really, really important for the dollar. So it's not just going to break willy-nilly, right? Even when you do break it, look what happens. We're able to set up reversal signals very, very quickly. So if we have these divergences, daily divergences, that is on your MACD, on your RSI at the same time, and the dollar is confirming that, now getting a complete follow through of that, I would say that people are behind the curtain in those dark pools, most likely running into cash and selling off their stocks. Okay, at least that's how you would have to treat it at this moment, is someone behind the curtain is going into cash. Why would they overall do that? Now, these are the things flashing red right now, but you don't necessarily have confirmations across the board to suggest that there is a full reversal signal like 100% across the board, right? A lot of these can be early indications. So we want to consider what's going on with volatility. Well, if we look at volatility, you notice that that is coming off, okay? That is coming off. But remember that volatility overall is elevated while the market continues to go to those new highs. So this is going to be a great signal to watch. We're not going to go over volatility again, but remember the daily divergences right here led us to believe a squeeze was coming. The failure in this area started off the squeeze. We benefited from it. And then what do you see at the opposite side? You see divergences here. It led to a downside move. You see this right here, and you get a divergence on your RSI. That is a big deal. As of right now, these divergences do matter in my opinion, but the signals are not confirming on those shorter time frames. On the shorter time frames, the 2-hour chart was able to cross down and it never solidified a higher low. But as of right now, we do notice that the 2-hour chart is really close to the center line. Do we need to set up reversal signals first before we pop off again? Are we going to buy a little bit more time outside of this monthly move until OPEX? Because VIX expiration is coming right around the corner, and all that has to happen for the VIX to start to go is create some kind of higher low right over here. If you create a higher low, that would continue the positive trend, especially if it does it very early on. It starts to get a little muddier as we head lower. So if you're paying attention to risk, then you say, I think we're going up, 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 and up, but I want to pay attention to something that can keep me away from any kind of risk that the market's going to head in that downward direction quickly. Well, then this would be the signal to watch. The 2-hour chart curls up. You have to take your foot off the gas for a moment. The other thing that's telling you to take your foot off the foot off the gas, especially if you're new here and you haven't heard us talk about those monthly expected moves, there is a month you have just tagged it. This is the monthly expected move is your 68% zone for the entire month. We are there on the 14th. We are there on the 14th. And at this moment, you got a pretty big range. Seems like we're still riding the wave from news way over here, and therefore we're seeing this start to kind of taper off. Okay, so as of this moment, what would be a signal for the SPY to say, hey, I just want to stay away from any kind of risk? Well, if you remember just a few videos ago, we talked about how this is rather extended and multiple point. And at this point, we said, now watch out, because this might mean we need to make those divergences in the near price action. And as of right now, you do see the divergence in the near price action. This is really nice because it shows you examples over the last couple of weeks of updating throughout this type of move right here that I did not choose to play. I got out and said, I don't want to get FOMO'd and get trapped into thinking, right, I don't want my mental to suffer and think that we're just going to keep going higher when I've seen a lot of these things get pulled away very quickly. But instead, I'm just going to analyze it very carefully and wait for the next easy opportunity. Well, the way that I analyzed this was we need to get to that monthly move at this point, and the cues were allowing the SPY to catch up. We have set up the reversal signal. The dollar's popping off, the 10-year yield popped off, and nobody's reacted to it so far. And I think that this is the time where you really want to watch that volatility 2-hour. And if that turns up, you have to be cautious. But on the other side of that, if the 2-hour chart is able to cross down for the SPY right here, that would be the confirmation of divergence in the near price action. So reacting to this, I'm not saying it has to happen or anything like that. The dollar would be suggesting that it is very possible to happen even starting tomorrow. But we like to see weird stuff during expiration. We see weird stuff during OPEX and things like that. So just be aware of this. If this 2-hour crosses down, that can be a very simple signal that just says, hey, I need to be patient for a little bit of time. I know that this is overall a big daily positive trend, and this is very likely not a major top. Even if we sell down to these type of levels, even if we go all the way down to say like 680 or something, as long as we are near that center line, as long as we're in positive territory and we curl up, you can see some kind of upward move, and the higher probable thing would be to test the high and go make a new one. If you can look at this pink line way up there towards 796, towards 800, that is your annual expected move. This is another magnet that no one's talking about, and it takes place right around 800. So if we're able to pull back in some way and curl to the upside, where are you pointing directly to? You're pointing directly to the annual expected move. And that means that the monthly expected move this month may be a good form of resistance. And we could see a pullback, even if it's just 3%, 4%, even if it's 10% down into these type of levels down in here. Well, if we curl to the upside, you'd be pointing directly to a 1, 2, and 3 to get all the way up to potentially even 800 at some point during the end maybe of summer. So I just wanted you to consider that in this video. Consider the fact that the 2-hour chart, if you're trading a little bit smaller than daily charts, well, this 2-hour chart is going to curl down. If that is going to curl down, which we need to see proven in the charts tomorrow, then we would really be thinking, uh-oh, this is a risky setup for me to go long, right? It's not necessarily risky to sit on my hands, right? That's how I overall think about it at this point. Your daily expected moves, let's get into those. We have 753.46 to the upside. We have 742.88 to the downside. If you guys always want daily moves, I wasn't able to make a few updates this week on YouTube. If you guys want those daily expected moves, I'm going to start just posting them for free when I'm not posting a YouTube video. So I'm going to give it to the free access as well. So if you just want to join, or you want to join to get the extra data points and the extra information that I give out during market hours, it's not every day, but it is there. You can join for $7, or you can just join for free. That way, when I'm not able to post, you will still get these daily expected moves. I wanted to do that for you guys because I know a lot of people do like these, but not everyone's a part of Patreon. This is very key here. This means what? If the 2-hour chart crosses down, we could still remain at elevated levels and continue to stay on this for the weekend. This would more so be if the 2-hour crosses down, then the weekend becomes very risky. As of right now, what's the 30-minute chart saying though? The 30-minute chart is not telling us that that 2 hour is going to cross down right away. So what we need to really pay attention to is, do we see the market give us before the weekend? Actually, it would be nice to see this before the weekend, but I don't think we have enough time. Do we see a lower high, right, from the 30-minute? Do we see something that crosses down the 30-minute closer to the center line? That would be very important. You can do that with a lower high. And the other available thing that we can see, and most likely if you're going to get lower high, you would like to see a deep move, maybe a second standard deviation move. But the other thing that I think is, according to your moves, more possible, actually I would say more probable, is you pull down to that center line, you make this shape, but it's in the form of a divergence, and you see something like this going into, I don't know, VIXpiration or OpX. So VIXpiration is when they can reprice those contracts. You can see a big spike in volatility during VIXpiration. If you set up a 30-minute divergence before that, just be cautious with this market. The Qs, we can see here, the Qs are in a different spot. The Qs are giving an argument for both sides right now. Why am I saying that? Because if the 30 minutes cross down right here, it is technically confirming a divergence across. Yes, we have seen that divergence slightly wiped out, but we never really exceeded this point, and it's not too extended across. Now, it's extended enough that this 30-minute crossing right here, yes, it can mean we go through something awful, but you'd have to really be taking out this low, and you'd have to be doing something like this. So what's very much so more likely to see in the next few trading sessions is maybe you pull back, you're able to get by that center line, and you do what we were talking about for the SPY. Your daily expected downside move of 710.66, maybe we get down to those type of levels, and then we get a bounce off of there, and we create a divergence more in the near price action like we talked about with the SPY. But either way, you're just looking for the shape. You're looking for a potential curl down on the 30-minute closer to the center line. That can really give you a better hint. That can be a way better hint of acknowledging, hey, maybe this 2-hour is going to reject, and these 2-hour divergences right here in the near price action, remember, it's extended across. That's why we talked about one coming in the near price action. We do see it. We see it outside of a monthly move. That leads to a lot of potential reversals for a pullback or retracement. That leads to a daily pullback or retracement. You notice here that the upside move, though, is 728.92. If we're able to cross up on this 2-hour, then it's very likely we're reaching up to those levels. And if we're able to reach up to those levels, we would still be looking for the lower high. We would still be looking for potential divergences to extend this into, say, VIXpiration or OpX at this point. You're very, very close to your annual expected move. So, and we don't have to stop here by any means. We can go all the way up to that annual expected move if we really want. But for the time being, you would say, is this a great opportunity? Is this an easy opportunity if I'm a trader like myself? Not if you're a day trader or anything like that. But if you're someone who's like, hey, I'm looking out 6 months, I'm looking out 4 months, I'm looking out 2 months, I'm looking out 1 month. All of those things, all of those type of expirations right now, I believe are too difficult to say, like, yeah, I want to go all in bullish right now. I just don't think that that is very good, continued trading behavior. That's how I'll put it. Now, that's my opinion. That's how I see trades, right? We see money differently. That's perfectly fine. The thing that I see here that is way simpler, keeps me from losing sleep at night, is the daily chart. If I can see, I'm not trying to say, oh yeah, I'm going to short everything and make so much money if this comes down. I'm just sitting back and going, hey, am I right? If this turns down and then the daily curls back up, if this turns down and then the daily curls up in positive territory, where are we pointing directly to? You're pointing directly to 748.35, which happens to be right at what? 750. 750 could be a key level in the coming months, okay? And that's very, very key to see here, is where is the actual next good, easy, simple opportunity? It could be right now if you're looking at it and you're good at shorting and things like that. I get it. You have to be prepared for this thing to just continue though and squeeze through, have that risk management. But for the time being, I think the next still, I know it's been like 3 weeks of me sitting on my hands. That's perfectly fine. I made plenty during the squeeze. But what I'm talking about here is, when is the next easy opportunity? I still believe that that next easy opportunity will be when the daily is by that center line. I said the same thing right here. I said the same thing right here. I said the same thing right here. Now, that doesn't mean that we were ignoring some potential trades. If you recall in my videos when we were talking about continued upside, we were talking about the 2-hour chart being able to curl up by the center line, and I suggested that IWM would be the good one to play. With that confirmation, we have seen a solid move, and there's some key levels up here that should have convinced you to potentially even take profit, because in the near term, we are starting to see some funky business. We're starting to see lower highs and lower lows from this, and the extended across divergence held better than the other indices. This doesn't mean that this can't just curl up. If the 2-hour curls up, you can squeeze all the way even to the annual expected move. We're almost there, and we have a long year left, okay? 295.67 for IWM. I hope you're getting all of these levels. Now, the key thing here, I think, is the 30-minute chart. If the 30-minute chart is able to cross down early on in the day, which technically price action would say is more plausible, right? Still making those lower highs, still making the lower lows. If this were to cross down, it's closer to negative territory than the last time. That means we are very likely to test the low, go make a new one. But as of right now, you would be really watching this 281.29 to the downside. And if we're able to catch support there and carve out a higher low of its own, then it would say test the high and go the opposite direction. So reacting at this point if I'm in IWM, but me personally, I'm enjoying being patient during this time. It's very, very nice. So for IWM, are things a little bit different up here? The serious answer here is a little bit different is correct. I mean, IWM is the only one really giving an argument for something really bad to happen, and it's a small argument. You do see the divergence on the RSI. This does lead us to believe that what we go through might take a bit of time, and you can actually see a full retrace down to potentially even 260 if we get a daily move to the downside here, and that would be a good area to watch if this thing's going to carve out a higher low. But as of right now, if you see those divergences and we go too deep, say we try to take care of these gaps, we get a reaction up, but we fail that, you can start to break key levels, and you can start a more meaningful downtrend on the daily chart. So I wanted to mention that with IWM, because IWM is kind of the only one showing those extreme daily divergences. You notice, right, as we click over to the spot, you're just not seeing it. So I just wanted to point that out. But as of right now, I still believe that the daily, kind of move like this, a 4% move down, a 3% move down, or something like 7 to 10% would be very nice for this market to take a breather. I still believe that as that annual expected move is up there, I need to be watching for that, because we have tagged them in the past few years almost every time, sometimes both sides. So as that level acts like a magnet, I really want to pay attention to the SPY. And the reason I want to pay attention to the SPY with that is because you have more room to that annual expected move. As of right now, though, I think watching for that 30-minute chart, seeing if that's able to carve out any kind of divergences in the near price and action, with the knowledge that there is 2-hour divergence here as well, is a very good thing, because that can be your hint. A simple 30-minute lower high, a simple 30-minute divergence, and then we start to see some crazy things with expiration might be on the table. Thank you guys so much, and don't get FOMO'd into a market that is touching the upward monthly expected move for the second month in a row. Remember, the last month that we were talking about going to that upward monthly expected move, we had a squeeze setup. You do not have a squeeze setup as of right now. In fact, you have a little bit of the opposite. You actually see a reason for people to run to cash but stay away or sell potential stocks. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you had a good time. I hope you were able to take something useful away from this video, and I hope you consider subscribing. If you're watching this long, I respect it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace out.